Senator Deacon, Nova Scotia.
Thank you, Speaker. Honourable colleagues, 3 years ago this month, I was in Ukraine as part of the presidential election oversight effort. It was my first and only trip to that remarkable country. Over the past weeks, I've been thinking a lot about one of the other Canadian parliamentarians on that trip, Mark Warwa, an energetic and youthful 68-year-old entrepreneur and Member of Parliament for Langley-Aldergrove. He was on another of his countless trips back to his Ukrainian roots, heading to oversee polls in his ancestral home of Lviv. His dedication to helping the Ukrainian people create the conditions for their increasing success was infectious. I had several conversations with Mark, each one of them more enlightening. He was massively dedicated to supporting the Ukrainian democratic reform and freedom. I cannot imagine how his heart would be breaking today if he was with us. Mark cut his trip short due to ill health and soon discovered he had pancreatic cancer. He died 3 months after returning home. Mark Warwa's sudden death shattered his family, friends, constituents, and colleagues, much like the events of the last 2 weeks have shattered us all. I had no connection to the Ukraine prior to this trip, but was instantly inspired. Hope was everywhere, and the electoral process turnout was impressive. Everyone was concerned over Russian involvement in election disruption. Already then, Russian disinformation sought to discredit the electoral process, using the rhetoric of a failed puppet state run by fascists, language all too familiar today. The Ukrainian Central Election Commission was under threat by repeated cyber attacks, again, a recurring theme. Starting in Kyiv, together with a Swedish MP, we traveled east from the city with our driver and translator. The polling stations, often in local schools, were run by incredibly dedicated, strong, and disciplined women. They blew us away with their professionalism and their determination to prevent anything inappropriate from happening in their polls. I'd be comforted by their presence at a poll in my community. In one of these villages, we met 2 elderly babushkas. They'd walked several kilometers to the polling station to vote, but they did not really walk, they shuffled. I commented on their dedication, and they looked at me as if I was the idiot that I instantly felt I was. They simply replied that they'd been in kindergarten together in Stalin's Soviet Union. Nothing else needed to be said. They knew all too well a world without democracy. I can't imagine how these 2 ladies feel today. I'm hopeful about one thing, though. The people of Ukraine are incredibly courageous and strong-hearted. We must increasingly stand with them. Thank you, colleagues.